are not monsters, they are just dogs. In the right hands, they are amazing family pets.
Hi, my name is Yvette. I am a mommy of two girls, as well as a mommy to two beautiful pitbulls, full-time career woman. I became a proud pitbull mommy in 2018. And this beautiful boy over here, his name is Andrew. He's also a rescue. I got to meet him and I fell head over heels in love with him. And in the process of hoping to find him a good home, it was an absolute fail, and he became my baby and I became his home. And like I always say, I didn't rescue them, they rescued me. And the love that they give, their devotion, their loyalty, it's been phenomenal. Like I said, I've got two children and I have never ever experienced any problems. My kids love them, my dogs absolutely love them, and I think the fact that they are being labelled as the monsters is unfair. If you put anything or anybody on a chain and give them that kind of lifestyle or treat them like that, I would also become a monster. I would also bite, I would also hurt. And I think people need to stop labelling them and putting them under that class as monsters, because they're not. And I absolutely cannot imagine my life without them, and I will never ever stop being a voice for this magnificent breed.
I went into the surgery on the 3rd of December last year to fetch some dewormers for my dogs, and there was a dog there that I just fell in love. It was actually the anniversary of my husband's death on the 3rd of December, and I thought it was a sign from him. I fell in love with her. I got her that afternoon and I just love her to bits. She's my companion, my favorite companion.
My name is Jean-Ray Tesner and I'm a proud pit bull owner of two pit bulls, two rescue pit bulls, and I would just like the people in general to stop bullying our breed just because they look like this. They're also just plain normal dogs that want love and attention. They need to be socialized, sterilized and treated as a family member at the end of the day, so that they can, my dogs sleep on my bed with me and my son and my husband, so they need to be treated as part of the family and respected. That was the first part I taught my son, is respect the animals and they'll respect you back. So basically, just respect our breed and don't judge them because they look like this.
Susan Bandera's daughter believes her mother may not be alive today if her dog Caesar hadn't come to her rescue.
Pitbull is being treated as a hero after it attacked a man allegedly trying to strangle the dog's owner.
This is my rescue Pitty. I was the proud owner of a Staffy for many, many years who passed away. Jade was the first one that grabbed my heart and attention at SPCA Utenac, and a year ago I adopted her. I think people have the wrong perception of the breed. It's not the breed. They are just loving animals and need to be treated with respect and love. And the more the message we can get out about this wonderful breed, we are passionate about pitties, and as you'll see in all the shots taken this morning, they are all rescues. So people, think about what you say, think about what you're doing, because they deserve just as much as what all humans do. And I just hope that this message gets out to all who have had the misconception about the breed, and hope that you all spread the good word, because they are just goofy, wonderful, loving babies.
I have been fostering pit bull puppies for many years with other breeds successfully. This is my latest foster Cova. She's still up for adoption. We don't like to home pit bulls as only pets because we believe in socialization. Socialization with other dogs, other cats, other children outside your yard. It's very important.
Hi guys, my name is Renelle Brits. Next to me is a dog I'm looking after for 2 years, Angel. So my story is a bit different than most other people's. 6-7 years ago, I didn't know anything about pit bulls and I was terrified of them. A friend of mine actually bought Angel from an illegal breeder, and when I met her, I fell in love. She's the most placid dog I've ever met. Unfortunately, he started breeding with the dog. She had 2 litters and then we had her sterilized, and I did exactly the opposite of what you should do. So again, it's all caused by media. I followed everything that the media said about protecting your pit bull from people wanting to steal it, to breed with it, or to fight with it. So I made 2 very big mistakes. I took the alpha male. Firstly, I bought them, which is illegal in PE, I found out later. But I bought the alpha male and then the runt of the same litter, which is a no-no, I found out later. And also I protected them from everything and everybody. They got absolutely no exposure. We took them absolutely nowhere. They were not socialized. We didn't take them for walks because we were terrified that they might be stolen or fight or something else. Ultimately, it didn't end well for me. That's where I got to know Marazan and got some advice. Our male dog, Romeo, he got very aggressive, which is, and it's again partly due to the media. He got aggressive because he was not socialized and we never took him anywhere and he wasn't used to anything. He ended up biting me, and unfortunately my housemate did decide to put him to sleep for safety's sake. The female dog that was mine, Juliet, because we were too scared to take her anywhere and expose her to anything, we just fed her treats to keep her happy. She developed diabetes and got blind, and eventually we had to put her to sleep as well. So that is where I got to know Marazan, and I've learned that you can only do better once you know better. Pitbull breeds are the most loving, and I've had a few dogs. I've had from poodles to burbuls, you name it. I've had German shepherds. I can honestly say that if it were my choice, I would never ever have any other dog than a pitbull again. They are the most lovable, loyal dogs that you can ever imagine. And with all the hype in the media, I just want to say that the problem is not this side of the leash. This is the problem. And if you raise your dog correctly and listen to the people that know and ask expert advice, get to know the breed, make sure the dog fits in with your lifestyle, then you can have a dog like Janka and not go through the trauma of having 2 dogs that we love very much put to sleep. Angel is an angel because she's the mother of my 2 angels that keep looking after me in heaven. Thanks, guys.
Hi, my name is Marazan Ferreira, and this here is Janka, my best friend. She's also my pit bull, she's also my pet and my lifelong companion. The 2 of us have had a campaign going on, well, since I got her just about 10 years ago, to show the world just how amazing pit bulls really are if you do right by your dog. I'd like to think that we've been pretty successful. However, the current state of affairs, the petition that's been launched to ban them as a breed has been extremely upsetting. The fear-mongering and the hatred that it caused has been heartbreaking to both of us. I fear for my life, not my life, I fear for my dog's life. I fear for the well-being of my heart. Every time somebody has something hurtful to say about this breed, it is almost as if they put a knife through my heart and they twist it, and then they laugh when I cringe from pain. The hurt that it causes is immense. Putting my emotions aside, obviously I've got an opinion about it, as I do about most things. In my, if I may say, humble opinion, I think that the petition is not comparing apples to apples. The attacks are happening with dogs and in areas where you don't have Janka or the Jankas out there. And there are hundreds and thousands of Jankas out there that live happy lives well-loved lives with families. They are fully blessed, fully respected family pets. They live with children, they live with other dogs, and in Janka's case, she lives with dogs, a cat, and she also lives with wildlife. I often bring orphaned wildlife home that I need to nurse and raise, and she helps me with that. So yes, in my opinion, I don't think the petition is comparing apples to apples. You cannot judge my dog with the dogs that have been attacking people. And I say the word attack very loosely. Now, a dog on a chain or a dog living in shocking conditions in a filthy backyard, abandoned to being on its own, probably taunted by children, I'm sure not getting a decent diet, never really been vaccinated at all, and definitely not sterilized, is not this dog, is not the family pets. In my opinion, what needs to be done to solve this problem, because it needs to be addressed and it needs to be resolved. Now, before I carry on, let's just get the white elephant out into the open. The media have done a darn good job of picturing these dogs as monsters. If they were being paid, which I'm sure they are, if there was a competition, the media would have won absolutely loose hands. So they've created a huge part of the fear-mongering that surrounds these dogs today. They are not monsters, they are just dogs. In the right hands, they are amazing family pets. Backyard breeding is the cause of this. You have millions of opportunistic people breeding with what they think is a pit bull. And they breed these dogs, and they breed pit bulls, and they crossbreed them, and they sell them two for the price of one. They sell them in parking areas. They sell them from boxes under their beds to anybody who wants them. They are then sold to people who have no idea how A, to take care of a pet, and B, to deal with terrier traits. Now, pit bull is a terrier as a Jack Russell, as a Yorkie, as a Boston. Terriers have short fuses. People don't know this. People take on these dogs because they want guard dogs. Pit bulls are actually lousy guard dogs because they love people so much. Now this dog is abandoned to a lonely backyard, probably chained or locked in a cage. And we know some of these attacks have happened with dogs who broke from their chains, who got out of their cages. We know that for a fact. We also know that some of these attacks were done by dogs that are not pit bulls, even though the media told us they were pit bulls. It's been confirmed. Some were Rottweilers, a lot of them were crossbreeds. So backyard breeding needs to be addressed, and backyard breeding needs to be banned. It's a filthy, opportunistic, purely money-making practice. And that is what's creating the problem. If backyard breeding was banned, none of those dogs who attacked and killed and attacked and maimed would have been born. We have bylaws in place. In some cities, bylaws determine that you cannot breed with your dogs unless you have written permission from the municipality. That applies in Port Elizabeth. If you do not have written permission to breed with your dog, you are breeding illegally. The bylaws need to be enforced. The national legislation of the Animal Protection Act needs to be enforced. If that's enforced, you will not have dogs on chains. You will not have dogs living in shocking conditions. You will not have dogs breaking loose and out of pure frustration end up biting people. None of those incidents would have happened. So if the backyard breeding can be addressed, if the bylaws and the National Animal Protection Act can be enforced, the hugest part of this problem will be eliminated. But what's happening now is all pit bulls are being judged, and that is unfair. The focus is, and they're targeting innocent dogs. There's the incident of the man that was recently killed in Port Elizabeth trying to protect his dog. There's a video doing the rounds of a guy that walked his pit bull on a leash, minding his own business, that's now being attacked by the media, being attacked by the police. The police are threatening to shoot his dog. That's wrong. Target the actual problem. As long as they're going to target the soft targets, my dog on the beach playing with her ball, or a guy walking his dog, the problem is not going to go away. The problem needs to be addressed, and the problem is backyard breeding and the living conditions of these dogs. By highlighting that, the public will be educated. The guy who wants a pit bull will know, if I put this dog on a chain, it's possibly going to bite my children or the neighbor, it's going to cause harm. It's not the right thing to do. I need not to put my dog on a chain. I need to sterilize my dog. You cannot have unsterilized animals on chains, confined, no mental stimulation, no exercise, nothing, no contact with people. You are creating monsters. And that is the problem. That needs to be addressed. People need to be educated in how to train their dogs, how to treat their dogs, how to live with their dogs, how to act if they see a strange dog in town or in the park. You know, not to just jump up, run, scream, and shout. It's a whole educational process, and that's on the government to do. Welfare organizations, including my dog, for 10 years, have been treating and training dogs, have been going to schools, have been going to old age homes, educating children and their parents how to behave around dogs. That is what's needed on a national basis. You cannot blanket an entire breed. If you blanket an entire breed on the wrongdoing of 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 dogs because of their owner's actions, it's as good as, and this is going to sound very harsh, but we all know children kill their parents. Children kill their own siblings. Children shoot their peers at school. Parents kill their children. Are you going to blanket and ban all children? Are you going to ban parenthood because the odd parent have snapped and killed their children? No, you're not going to do that. You are going to address the actual problem. And that's what we need to do with pit bulls. We need to address the actual problem. And we cannot ignore that. By ignoring that, the problem will never go away. And even if you eliminate every single pit bull on the planet, you're going to have other dogs attacking and killing because the actual problem has not been addressed. Ban backyard breeding, enforce the bylaws, enforce the Animal Protection Act. People need to understand what they are doing wrong and that that's the reason for the attacks and not a breed. There was a woman killed in England now by a dachshund and some crossbreeds. There was a little boy killed by a corgi not long ago, I think also in England. It's not the breed. It's the actual problem that needs to be addressed. And I beg every decision maker out there to look at the real problem and to make an educated decision on whatever the outcome are going to be with what's happening at the moment. I beg every potential and current pit bull owner to be responsible. It's on you to protect this breed. Be responsible, sterilize your dogs, socialize your dogs, give them enough mental and physical stimulation, train them. There's a lot of dog schools and it's not expensive. Take your dogs to school. You take your children to school, for goodness sake. Take your dogs to school. You owe it to your dogs. You owe it to society. Do we want our children to grow up in a society that's broken and where cruelty to animals is okay? Or do we want them to grow up in a society where it's healthy and there's kindness to animals? Animals who cannot speak for themselves. Mahatma Gandhi said, you can judge a nation by the way they treat their animals. You can judge their morality by the way they treat their animals. And there's so much truth in that. Let's be that nation. Let's be the nation that treat our animals right and see how good it will go with us then. Remember, if you can bend down to help something lesser than you, it will go so much better with you. Thank you so much.